welcome to the Cryptosphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is January 10th, and it has been an eventful day. Lots of volatility in this crypto market. That's what makes this market so much fun, but it's also what makes it so terrifying. We are looking at this XRP. It has been all over the place today. Some folks might have experienced some topsy-turviness. I would like to say that with my trades, since I'm trading against the BTC market, it was a little bit turbulent, but it wasn't nearly as turbulent as it was for some other people, and that's because I'm trading against Bitcoin, not against the US dollar. And since Bitcoin and XRP were falling at the same time, my trade stayed pretty stable with some movement. All right, before we go any further, I need to update you. I said that we were looking at this weekly candle, and I said we needed this weekly candle to close above this line, and lo and behold, we closed above the line at 31 cents. That's where the candle closed, and the candle just closed like literally less than an hour ago. It was within the hour. Even against the US dollar, with all of the turbulence in today's market, we still were able to close within this bullish pattern. And so for the long term, for the macro, we are still bullish as long as this candle, which we're making right here closes above this line. It can go back down and revisit this line if it wants. That's no problem. This candle simply needs to close above this line in order for us to stay in this bullish channel. And I think we have a great chance of doing just that. However, I did a video yesterday, I believe it was, and in that video, I said that because we broke bullish out of this wedge here, that we could expect to jump up about 20% and head up to about 39 cents. And I put this arrow here, and it was crazy. After I made the video and I opened up the chart later on in the evening, and all of a sudden this green candle was pumping. And I was like, oh yeah, look at that. It's pumping right under my arrow. I actually thought it was going to pump all the way up to my arrow and touch this blue line. And I thought, man, how legit is that going to be? How much cred will I have making a video tomorrow showing this? Look at this. This candle pumped right behind my arrow, right? Nah. God has a sense of humor, doesn't he? This crypto market is not for the faint of heart. All of a sudden, we saw an engulfing bearish candle come right up next. And after that, what's happened is that we are now in this candle here, this wick fell down to the bearish side of this channel, which means that we could be heading back down to test this line before we head up again. So we could be experiencing a little bit of a correction here, of a retest of this line, maybe even a little lower than this line. Once again, we just have to close our weekly candle above this line. So don't be afraid if we go below this line. Just by next Sunday afternoon, we need to be back above that line in order to remain in this bullish channel. And if we close below that line, who knows? But what happened today was not foreseen, and this is the crazy thing about crypto. You don't need any news. You don't need anything bad to happen. It's just volatile all by itself, and basically what happened today is Bitcoin started to correct, and people started to dump, and when that tends to happen, it affects the entire crypto market. We are still in the part of the market called Bitcoin dominance. We are not in the full altcoin bull run yet. The altcoin season has not yet begun, and so this is going to take patience on our behalf. However, I am still convinced that this is the best place to be. Now, I want to kind of explain this. I had a talk with a friend of mine earlier today, and he explained it to me in a way that made so much sense. And so I explained to him my theory of trading against Bitcoin, looking at, because it's not hard. Look at this. Bitcoin, is it up or down? Bitcoin is 1,000% up from its 2020 low. But if you just want to look at its previous all-time high, which was just shy of $20,000, we went a full 111.81% above its previous all-time high. Now, so Bitcoin is high, right? It's up there. On the other hand, if we look at XRP against the USD, we are 91.41% below our all-time high. So there's this theory that's called mean reversion theory. And mean reversion theory simply postulates that assets within an asset class always move towards the mean. If one moves up and the other moves down, then they want to both move towards the middle. And this is especially true in the crypto market. Actually, the way we could think about this is kind of gentrification. If you think about the relationship between the suburbs and the inner city, there's this process that transpires about every 60 years, 45 to 60 years, in which the wealth goes out to the suburbs and abandons the inner city, which basically povertizes the inner city. And the result of the povertization of the inner city is that the real estate values there in the inner city they hit rock bottom. The property there becomes dirt cheap, which then makes it irresistible to the wealthy. And so the money comes back from the suburbs into the inner city, which leads to the suburbanization of poverty, which makes the property in the suburbs dirt cheap. And so the wealth comes back and starts buying up those properties. So basically, what the wealthy do is they put their money in an asset, whether we're talking Bitcoin or whether we're talking stocks or whether we're talking real estate, whatever it is, they try to put their money in an asset at the bottom, wait till it gets to the top of its value, and then they start pulling their money out and putting it into another asset that's at its bottom. And this is called mean reversion theory. Now, here's the tricky part. The tricky part is you don't necessarily know where the top is. That's the tricky part, isn't it? I mean, if you knew exactly where the top of this was, then you could time it perfectly. And so we're not going to time it perfectly. Honestly, this probably is not the top for Bitcoin. I mean, it may continue to retrace from here, or it may turn around and pump up higher. I did a Fibonacci retracement on it a little bit earlier today, which showed me that it actually has room to pump up to even $60,000. I think that's the top of the next Fibonacci retracement level. So it could pump as high as $60,000 before it turns around and starts its real retracement. Who knows? And secondly, looking at this XRP chart, you don't really know where the bottom is. However, this is the evidence for me. When I look at XRP, beside this scam wick right here that actually went down to basically zero, which doesn't count because at no time in its history was XRP worth zero. In terms of BTC, this is the cheapest XRP has ever been. Look at this. This is the very bottom. There is room in Bitcoin's Fibonacci for it to go up higher, but there's not much room in XRP's Fibonacci for it to go much lower against Bitcoin. I mean, we've only got 817 Satoshis. Now, I'm still holding at 612 Satoshis. If it goes back down to 612 Satoshis, in other words, if this on the USD chart does go back down to test this line and maybe even pop down beneath it, simultaneously, if Bitcoin starts pushing up to $60,000, the net result is we're going to see this come down and test this line again. And we'll probably pop down beneath it if both of those two things happen. Now, if Bitcoin bursts up towards 60,000 simultaneously with XRP recovering and bursting up towards 40, 50 cents, then this number here is going to stay pretty much the same. This number here is not going to move upward aggressively until Bitcoin retraces aggressively simultaneously with XRP growing. And XRP doesn't have to move as aggressively, but when those two numbers start moving towards each other, when XRP is moving up and Bitcoin is moving down, what happens is you have an exponential growth of your profit against Bitcoin in the Bitcoin market. And that's what I'm counting on. And so the difference between 30 cents here, there's a lot of room to go down. But 800 Satoshis, there's not a whole lot of room to go down here. And so for me, it's a safer bet to bet against Bitcoin on this chart than to bet against the US dollar on the other chart. Hope that makes sense. Well, listen, be patient. Don't lose your sanity. Don't lose your peace. Yeah, take your time. We're going to make it. I am preparing to launch my trading group very soon. My group is going to focus on two things. One, we're going to trade against BTC. That's going to be the primary focus of the group. And two, the second thing is we're going to learn principles for trading without losing your sanity, without losing your peace, because this thing can become addictive. It can rob you of your work can start to suffer. You can get disconnected from the most important relationships in your life, and you can start making bad decisions when you're in that emotional space. So I want to create a space where we can learn and grow together, maintain our sanity, because we're trading according to principles that are designed to empower us to maximize profits while minimizing losses and maintaining our sanity and peace simultaneously. So more to come. I'll tell you more about that. Please take a moment to like and subscribe to this channel. Like this video, subscribe to this channel if you wouldn't mind. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. And always remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm simply giving you my opinion, not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Yes, many blessings and much love to each and every one of you. Cryptogenic signing off.